Hi everyone, today I'm gonna show you how to do some exercises and asanas to create a better mobility in your feet and open up your ankles. Those poses are really good for you after running or any post-cardio activity as well. Creating a better stability in your feet is very important for standing poses in yoga. So those will be really helpful to you. Okay, it's not going to be a full class, it's just going to be a couple of exercises. So you can do them anytime after running, or you can incorporate them in your own practice. We're going to start in a seated kneeling position, and I'm going to be turning around so that you can see my feet. I'm going to give you different variations of thunderbolt pose that you can pick and choose on your own mobility of your body and of your knees and feet. We're going to start in a kneeling position. Come into child's pose, bringing your hips towards your heels, and we're going to untuck your toes and prepare yourself for a different position. So untuck your toes, and this time I'm going to turn around so you can see. Untuck your toes. Just grab your toes and adjust them to make sure that they're really on the floor. You can support yourself with your hands as of now. Bring your heels together and slowly, when you're ready, sit up, putting the weight of your body towards your heels, keeping your knees on the same level with your hips. Put all of your weight on your heels. So your sit bones should be right on your heels, and then round your spine and tuck your chin, creating this letter C from if you want to look at me from the side, you can see that I am rounding my spine and tucking my chin. That will intensify the stretch in your feet, so you can feel really this stretch. Relax here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Now you're gonna start feeling it really in your feet. Okay, release the pose, untuck your toes, and come into child's pose again. And from here, now this time you're gonna keep your toes untucked, but bring your heels together again. Help adjust yourself. Help your heels to stay close to each other, and your knees should be close to each other again. So slowly sit up again, around your spine, and tuck your chin. Again, put all of your weight on your heels and feel the stretch in your ankles. Now, if you're feeling it in your knees, that's not good. You're supposed to feel it in your ankles, and some people are not going to be able to sit on the heels. So if that's the case, just grab a block or folded blanket, and you can always place the blanket right on your between your hips and heels, so you can still get this benefits of this pose. Okay, so stay in that pose for a couple breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Release the pose and come back in the child's pose. Move, Lenny, move. Come back to child's pose. And now we're going to do a third variation of the pose. So this time your left foot will go over the right foot, and it will be placed right in the arch of the left foot. So try to move around and adjust your feet so that it's comfortable for you, but keep the knees still close together. And once you find this good, perfect spot, you're going to bring yourself up and again put the weight on your heels. This time your heels are apart and your feet are on one on top of the other. Arch around your back and tuck your chin and stay in that pose. I'm going to turn around so you can see my profile. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And now we're going to switch the legs. So your left foot this time will go over the right foot. The heels are apart, and slowly move your weight on your heels and come back into the same position. Stay here for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, release the pose. So from here, we're going to do a hero pose. In hero pose, open your heels just slightly apart so that your sit bones can come right in between your 2 feet. This is not accessible to everyone, so make sure to listen to your body. Make sure that your knees are on the same level with your hips, and make sure that the feet are tucked under, not completely, but they're creating this straight line. So you must feel a lot of stretch in your ankles, and when you're ready, just adjust your bum so that it can come fully down on the mat. Now, if that's not possible for you, just straighten one leg up and stay in a half hero pose, doing one leg and then the other leg. So if you want to do that instead, it's perfectly fine. Do what feels good for you. So I'm going to do the full variation just so that you can pick for yourself. Once you come down on the mat and you feel your bum on the mat, straighten up and sit here, relaxing into the pose and feeling the stretch. Now that is a very intense pose, so you're going to feel it intensely in your ankles. Inhale and exhale, release. If that's good enough for you, you can always stay here. If you want to put the blanket or a block under your heels, under your hips, you are welcome to do that. So that will make it a little bit easier. And what I'm going to do next, if you want to deepen the stretch even more, if that feels really good for you and you want to deepen it, then you can bring both of the hands behind the hips and stay here. Making sure that your hips, that your sit bones are still on the mat, they're not lifted. And if that feels good for you, you can come down gently on the forearms and stay here. Now this time you're going to start feeling it in your quads and ankles and feet. If that's great, you want to stay here, you can stay here. If you want to deepen it even more, you can come gently on the floor, lowering yourself completely down on the mat, and your whole body will be on the mat. The lower back will be a little bit lifted to allow the pose to happen, but everything else should be on the mat. And you can stay here and relax. Now that pose feels weirdly good. Inhaling and exhaling. If you feel it in your ankles, in your quads, in your feet, that's perfectly good. If you feel it in your knees, then please release the pose and come up and modify the pose for yourself. Stay here for a couple breaths. Breathing into the tension. One more breath. Nice job. And now slowly lift yourself up. One hand and then the other hand, start supporting yourself to lift yourself up. Bring your hands forward and lift your bum. Untuck your toes. Now we're gonna come into child's pose just for a second to release the stretch. Okay, and when you're ready, come up into seated. And that will be it for now. Thank you, my friends, for joining me and doing the stretches with me. I hope this will improve your practice and will be helpful to you. Namaste.